It was just Monday we learned that My Arcade had entered into a licensing agreement with Sega to release a number of new titles on their handheld and tabletop gaming devices. Now, among those listed was Revenge of Shinobi, suggesting at least that sequel and possibly others in the series were coming our way. Well, this morning, My Arcade continued their ramping up to CES tradition by dropping some teaser images of at least one of their Shinobi offerings. Maybe more? There are some interesting details to observe. That's after this.
This video supported in part by...
Well, in VR I tend to sweat. It gives me an edge. So King of Nerds happens to give me an edge too. Let King of Nerds give you the edge. Bye, King of Nerds.
Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John, and I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you for clicking on this video. You know, I was just catching up with the drop from yesterday, which was Christmas Day, and as I was publishing that, another drop, this time about Shinobi. Now, in that Sega announcement earlier this week, we saw the silhouette of what looked like micro players. But from these first Shinobi images, that's maybe not all we're gonna see. Let's take a look. So there's just 4 images, but there's enough to look at here. This first image is a close-up of what is a bat-top joystick, not the little one like we saw in the micro players. This is one of those big ones. So apparently we're getting a joystick player for Shinobi. Now that doesn't mean that maybe a micro player and or pocket player could be coming, but I'm excited that My Arcade has really leaned into these joystick players, the larger ones that we first saw that like a flight yoke with Galaga, and then we saw the Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man earlier this year. And I think Shinobi absolutely deserves this treatment. Probably the most interesting of all the images though, and the most hopeful, is this second one that is kind of more of a focus on, I say focus with all the blurriness, largely centered on the secondary control deck. Not the buttons and joystick, but the controls for like how to interact with a device. And we can see first a home button. Now, a home button suggests to me that you need to go back to the menu to pick a different game. So I'm gonna infer from this that this joystick player has more than just one game, more than just Revenge of Shinobi. And what else might be on it but the original Shinobi and maybe Shadow Dancer, and that's hopeful. Then, we were debating when we were looking at the list of titles they got from Sega that maybe these would all be Genesis ROMs. However, you can see on this control deck a credit button. Now, I wasn't an old Sega guy, but I don't think your Genesis had a insert coin on it, so this bodes well for the likelihood that these are actually arcade ROMs. Now, I can't see what the other buttons are. It's kind of blurry. Maybe that one is a start. I really can't. I tried to focus it. I really couldn't see. But a credit implies a start is also up there. And it just has me wondering because, look, I don't want to put all my eggs in this basket and go, yay, they're arcade ROMs, because we have seen credit buttons on devices before that ended up being garbage ports. I'm looking at you, 40th anniversary Pac-Man. But, come on, 40th anniversary Pac-Man, what are you doing? I'm hopeful because we've seen pole position, we've seen what My Arcade has been pushing toward lately, hoping that we're actually getting arcade Shinobi ROMs. Oh man, look, Genesis ROMs would have been neat. Arcade versions, that really excites me. As being, that's where I learned to play Shinobi. That's where I enjoyed those games. So anyway, moving on. This third one is a top-down image of the controls. That bat top just looks great. It's shaped properly. The height looks right. It's what I remember from an arcade machine. I think that's really cool. Look down past it, you'll see a very blurry image of the buttons. I guess to talk about that, let's go to the final image, which is clearer at least, a better look at the whole unit. And I want to take note that the 3 buttons are vertically oriented. Now, I don't know that there's a better choice on a joystick player of this size, short of, starting to stretch out the deck. On an original Shinobi cabinet, you can see you've got jump and attack together, and then ninja magic closest to the joystick there in the center. So how will it feel to have those 3 buttons vertically oriented? It's probably serviceable, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not making any prejudgments. I'm withholding judgment about these controls, but I'm eager to get my hands on this unit and fire off some ninja magic. With any luck, I'll get to do just that in just about a week and a half now, because I will be at CES 2025 at the My Arcade booth, where they are revealing all of these things that they're currently just teasing. So please stay tuned if you're interested in this stuff. I love looking at this stuff, especially figuring out what's coming before it hits. That's just a lot of fun, just based on some images, and we'll see how close our estimates are. Well, I'm going to continue to analyze and take a look at these social drops as they come out over the next 6-7 days we have leading up, 8-10 days before CES. I'll put links to some other ones I've done here and here. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this quick video. And I can't wait for next year especially, but I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.